know the game Blind Man's Bluff? Okay, we're sort of revealing our age when we raise our hands. So I understand why some may be reluctant to admit it. But when I was a little girl, that was one of the games we loved to play, especially at parties. And I remember clearly that at one of my birthday parties, either 6 or 7, we were outside on the lawn playing Blind Man's Bluff. Now, for those of you who really don't know the game, it's a mixture of sort of Marco Polo on land and tag and all kinds of games where there is an it and there is chasing and there is hiding and whatever. So you wear the it wears a blindfold and the other players are scattered. They don't need to hide because of the blindfold. And they can, in some variations of the game, they can sort of call out so that you kind of know where they are, and of course they're moved by the time you get there. But the idea is to try to find as many people as you can. So, you know, there is danger in that game, as you can imagine, and a lot of times you have to make sure the environment is pretty safe. On my lawn, in the house where I grew up, the only thing in your way is really a wonderful, fruitful almond tree, just standing smack in the middle of the lawn. So the grown-ups are watching us play and making sure that no one actually bumps into that tree. And there I am, you know, blind because of the blindfold. And I must have strayed near the tree, but not enough to alarm anyone. But some friend must have called my name or said something, so I did a quick turn and my forehead and the tree met. I still have the scar, although over the decades it's faded, and you really, I'm sure a lot of people on the reception line will be looking to see if they can see the scar. But whenever I remember it, I remember that story. And I remember, you know, going to school in the weeks that followed and having to, it was sort of joyful, to tell the story again and again and again. Because the scars that we carry, the scars that are on our bodies, whether they now have long faded or they still remain, they tell a story. How many little kids hold out their hands and show you their boo-boo, and then they have a long story to tell you about how they got hurt? I have a friend who had a mastectomy about 10, 12 years ago, and she carries the scars from that surgery. Now, there is no shame in those scars, because although they tell of a time of great worry, a time of, you know, surgery, uncertainty, they also bear witness to hope and recovery. She will tell you the stories behind the scar. She tells it to share with you the things that she has gone through. She shares it to let you know that it has shaped who she is today. But she also tells it with a little bit of warning that you need to be careful and you need to take care of yourself. She does wear and buy clothes that cover the scars, but she's not ashamed of the scars because the scars tell a story. The scars that Jesus bore when he appeared to his disciples after the resurrection told a story. And I imagine that Thomas knew this. Thomas is a realist. In the other appearances in the Gospels, Thomas is always concerned about what's happening and being sure and careful and relating it as it is. So Thomas wants his chance to see Jesus, but not just Jesus standing there. He would have recognized Jesus by his physical appearance. Not just hear Jesus' voice. I'm sure after living and traveling and being taught by Jesus, he would recognize Jesus' voice. But he wants evidence of something dramatic that had happened in Jesus' life. At the end, the last encounter that he had any experience with Jesus was the arrest, which led to Jesus' crucifixion. He knows the scars that crucified Jesus would bear. He knows that even the week after Jesus' death, those wounds would still be there. That, for him, would be proof that this is indeed Jesus resurrected. And indeed, when Jesus appears to Thomas, Jesus invites Thomas to look, to see, to touch, and to believe. And Thomas does not need to touch. John does not tell us that Thomas even reaches out to touch. Because in seeing the scars, Thomas recognizes Jesus in his fullness. Thomas does not say, "This is my friend." He doesn't say, "This is my teacher, my rabbi." Thomas recognizes that those scars tell a deeper story about Jesus. Jesus is his Lord and his God. Because the cross is not to be buried under the joy of the resurrection. The cross and the resurrection, those wounds of the crucified Jesus, tell a story of love, of forgiveness, of healing, of wholeness, of joy. Not to be hidden, but to be shown and recognized. We, like Thomas, a week away from Easter Day, can still remember the cross, can still picture Jesus with his hands, his feet, and his side, and know that those wounds, those scars, tell a story that he is our Lord and he is our God. And so our alleluias are not only about the resurrection, but about the cross. Amen.
Amen.